welcome back.
Excellent segment so far for this morning.
That's right, and we're moving into our final segment. Unfortunately, our artist was not able to make it this morning,
man.
but what we are going to do is take a flashback to last year's face painting segment, and we had visiting makeup artist Tanya Hernandez, and she did a special sugar skull face. So we're going to take a look at that now. Welcome back, and we are moving into our final segment for today. In case you don't recognize me, it's still Marleni. We've initiated the process for this third segment just in the interest of time. We're joined by Tanya Hernandez, who is an artist, and she's going to be doing what is called the sugar skull from La Catrina. Tanya, good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for giving me a great disguise this morning.
You're welcome.
Talk to us a bit about the whole process of face painting and its significance to Halloween.
Okay. Well, I guess since the beginning of time, Halloween is supposed to be a time of disguise and costumes and where people can't recognize you. And Dia de los Muertos falls also near Halloween, and this is something that people have adopted over time. So what I'm going to be doing today is a tutorial. I'm showing how to do a very basic skull candy makeup on your face. It's pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of time to get it where it looks really nice, because you have to layer a lot of different colors and makeup and paint on your face.
So essentially what Marleni has right now would be like the foundation.
Yes.
Where you would begin from.
So it's very important to make sure that your skin is completely clean before applying any of this makeup, and to use because it makes the face paint or the cream makeup or whatever you use to actually stay throughout the night and the hours, especially in the weather like Belize has, which is very humid. I use a grease paint on her face just because the cream-based or the water-based paint tends to melt really fast, and in humidity it would start to not look nice anymore. There is no actual waterproof makeup for this, but this will not melt off her face. Of course, if you touch it, it might smudge, so just be careful, as with any makeup. That goes for that.
So this would be perfect for trick-and-treating and that sort of stuff?
Yes, or if you're doing the whole Dia de los Muertos costume for Halloween.
It's the minute you're in disguise, it's like a whole new persona.
Yes, and this is very creative. It's just you do whatever design you want. Spider webs are something that's very common, which I will be doing on her face, as well as flowers and just little swirly designs, because it is supposed to, it's not supposed to look scary.
Yeah.
It's just supposed to be something that's festive and has a lot of colors. But like I said, I'm only doing a basic one on her just because doing a more intricate design takes a lot of time, where you can use rhinestones. It's basically, you're free to do whatever you want to.
Perfect. So let's get into the tutorial.
Okay.
Show us what you got.
Okay, great. So I already put the base on her, which is applying the white face paint. This takes a really long time to perfect it, and you have to make sure in the right lighting, because as you can see, there's a little bit of like blotchiness here, but it's going to be covered with the designs and the rest of the stuff on her face, and because of time limit, we'll just leave it like this for right now. I just started the eye sockets for her, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with design. I'm going to play with a bunch of different colors, and then from there we'll move on to doing the spider web and the rest of the stuff.
Perfect.
So
all Marleni needs is a black jacket with some rhinestones and some studs, and she looked like a member of KISS.
I knew you were going to say that.
So I'm just applying some blue eyeshadow here. It's going to look a little bit weird at first, but once it's there and it's blended in, it will all come together. Just layering is basically the whole aspect and the whole point of this.
Yeah.
So I'm just mixing up like 3 color blues to try and get it a little bit vibrant, and just applying it hair along the border of the black.
Now, the traditional sugar skull is this white face with black sockets. That's no matter what design you do, you have to have that.
Yes, because it is supposed to mirror an actual skull.
Okay.
You can open your eyes and look up.
Now, Tanya, how did you get into doing this in the first place?
Well, in college, which wasn't that very long ago, I was in the theater club.
Okay.
So, and I was also a part of the prop and makeup department of it. And it was very interesting because it was shocking to see how you could just transform your look just with makeup and paints. Of course, sometimes someone had to look like they were dying, and just the makeup. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us know about The Walking Dead, and just the aspect of looking at what makeup can do and how it can transform a person. So I was really interested in it. I also worked at a makeup company in the United States, where I learned a little bit more about, you know, the whole aspect of blending colors, how to make your eyes pop and your different features. So
there is a significant bit of artistry in this. It's not just applying makeup and face paint, right? It's a matter of an artistic expression as well.
Correct. You can open your eyes and look up. It is because anyone can just try and, you know, put the white face, the black sockets, but actually putting in, expressing yourself, and putting in what you're feeling into the actual face that I'm doing for her. It brings out your expression of your creativity. So
Nice. Well, Marleni, you don't have a mirror in front of you, but you should see yourself.
This is the best I've ever looked, hasn't it? Pretty
I'm not
sure.
saying that.
Now, Tanya, you've been obviously, once you have a talent like this, you have friends and family members and who tap into this and always ask you to do stuff, right?
Yes.
I'd imagine. What's the craziest thing anyone has ever asked you to do in terms of makeup artistry?
I think the craziest thing that anyone has ever asked me to do was they brought me it was like one of those little pre-packaged kits, like the horror ones, and I had to actually make it look like their faces being zippered off. So that was pretty exciting to attempt to do that. It was a little bit not as creative as I wanted to be because it was a kit rather than if I did it on my own.
From scratch.
Right, but it was a good experience. Open your eyes and look up.
So by the time you're done with all the face paint and its application, Marleni will look like one of the undead.
No, she should look festive and not scary and just ready to don that little skirt with the veil and the flowers in her.
Crown of flowers,
Yes.
So in terms of its cultural significance, we were saying earlier that skull candy or sugar skull, sorry,
Yes.
is big within the Hispanic population, right? In
It
terms
is.
of Dia de las Muertas.
Yes, it is a Mexican tradition. I don't know in detail that much about it, but with Halloween coming up and seeing all the costumes and all this stuff, I did actually research it a little just because doing something like this, you need to know the history of it.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, of course, I'm not saying this, you know, for every makeup artist or anyone that's interested in this, but being able to express yourself comes with knowing the context of what you're doing, which is the history of how this came about.
Interesting.
And candy skulls are actually really tiny, and they have a lot of intricate designs on them, and it's very colorful. I think a lot of people for Halloween just try to make it scary because Halloween is supposed to be scary.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
So you're next up?
I'm considering. I'm considering. I'll give you an answer before the end of the segment. In Creole, we would say at above.
Well, see, I'm glad I didn't have to say it. But Tanya, it's been more recent. You have men also interested in getting the makeup for Halloween and the scary faces.
Yes, I actually did one. I was just practicing playing with it because this was the first time I ever really did a skull candy on a man, just because women tend to be more into the whole
dress up.
Right. Of course, men are into it as well, but I think they tend to be either like making fun of themselves or being really, really scary. So I did one very recently. It came out really good and it looked scary. So.
Nice.
So if you can see right here, I'm just trying to blend the colors in.
Interesting. You go from black and blue to something greenish to purple.
Yes.
That sounds like the phases of a bruise.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is just draw the little scallops that go along with the skull candy, which border the outside of the sockets.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to draw the piece on her nose. So that's what I'm about to do right now.
What's your recommendation to people who want to try this at home? I mean, this is a very popular costume now. What are some tips for amateurs?
There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and they really go step by step and show you how to get this look. There's a lot of easy tutorials out there for beginners or people who have never done it before. All I will say is just have a lot of waterproof black eyeliner and have an open mind and attempt it, because it's hard to mess something like this up, but at the same time you want it to look good.
Well, clearly you're paying great attention to detail, so it's a matter of being patient as well.
Yes, having patience. Like I said, these can take a while if you're being very intricate.
So for someone wanting to do the same for trick-or-treating later on, they would have to start early if they're novice, right? In terms of
Yes.
time it takes.
I mean, of course, if you just want to rush it and it's just for, you don't really care how it comes out,
Yeah.
then you can rush it. But getting a really nice skull candy face takes a little bit of time.
We're getting there, Marlene. We're getting there. One eye socket at a time.
Yeah, the eyes and the actual white on the face, so for me, and I think anyone else, if you look at tutorials online, is the longest part of this process.
Okay.
Just because it entails a lot of patience and being precise and attention to detail.
So have you been tapped for this weekend? I mean, people are going to be out and about. They want to have a specific look. Have you been contacted to apply some makeup?
Yes, there's a couple of people, but I also have to do me and my sisters as well. And this Halloween, we're going to all be dressing like having a theme. So I had to come up with a look for us, and so that will be unveiled on Saturday.
I was just about to ask you to share with us what the theme is.
It's military,
Okay.
which is very fitting because I am in the military. But being able to dress up and look sexy in an outfit, which is not how I look on a normal basis in uniform. So
Well, I don't know if I'm going to have any look this Halloween. I'll just be the guy that looks on. No face paint for me this year.
We may
Costumes.
get you a black eye before the end of the
Hey, you
show.
never know, right? You never know.
And then you can just tell people when you go to work that I punched you this morning.
I said something out of the way. I did something out of the way and I got one to the eye, right?
So right now I'm just filling in the little scallops that I did. And then after this, I'm gonna do the spider web and her nose.
That's a serious process, though.
Yes.
Like I said, the white is essentially the base, and then you go from there. So it's almost like it's the blank canvas that you begin with, right?
Yes. And if you go online and look at a lot of these tutorials, they're sped up a lot.
Yeah.
Where people do half their face.
You do a lot of like time lapse, so you don't really see the
Yes.
process at every step.
As soon as I'm done with this, though, we should be able to.
You know, you practiced your artistry skills yesterday, Sandy. You might be able to draw a thing or two on a sugar
Don't
skull.
remind me, Marlene.
You should grab an eyeliner and come do some little squiggly lines and get the creativity
I suck. I'll be the
flowing.
first to admit. If you saw the show yesterday, I couldn't even really get a proper face. I was never really good at art, so I had to, find something else that I excelled in. Right, Marlene?
So you did writing instead.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're almost there. We're almost there. We're still.
At the same time, I'm not trying to rush because.
You need to do a proper job,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. I think this kind of artistic expression sort of will inspire a lot of people who are watching who may want a certain look this weekend. What is in your opinion, what is the difference between going this route as opposed to, let's say, purchasing a mask and just applying something that's ready-made?
Going this route to me is better just because it gives you the whole experience of Halloween or of your costume that you're doing, rather than just, doing the mask, which is very basic. It's like the
Yeah.
shortcut. It's
Yeah.
just not taking the shortcut.
It's like cheating the system, so to speak, right?
Correct.
Cutting corners.
But which would demand your attention more, a mask or?
Well, that's an interesting question. Simply because Tanya here is very detail oriented. So if she were to make the mask, I'm almost certain that the expression would be there. When you purchase a mask, one that's ready made, maybe it already comes with all the paint and all the details as well. So I think it depends on what you're going for, the shock value, if I may,
Sandy, I really think we need to paint you up a bit.
Hey, we might just.
So now I'm just doing the nose.
It's almost as if though I've seen this on a cartoon movie somewhere. And I'm trying to recall in the back of my mind where exactly I've seen this mask, this face. Help me out, Marlene.
Cartoon movies? I haven't seen any recently.
One of those, I'm drawing blank. I won't even go there.
And you have to ask the client to be still.
And a sudden movement can result in...
Yes. But it's okay, easily fixed. So one thing with makeup, if you make a mistake, just remove it. So we're kind of pressed for time.
Cool.
Yeah. And when you tell me don't move, that means don't talk.
As
Listen.
perfectly still.
Okay, so for the spider web, it's pretty easy. All we're gonna do is make one line down. And then we're gonna make a curve over her brow. And the good thing with this is it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a spider web. Every spider web is different.
You're gonna give the face painters at Detail Park a run for their money.
Thank you.
So what are some other things that, again, for people who just want to try out a different look for Halloween, what they can do? This is an easy one, as you mentioned, because you can kind of freestyle whatever's going on the white. Anything else that would be easy and doable?
Like Halloween makeup? Yeah, skulls are always easy to do. It's hard to mess those up. But there's like vampire makeup, fairy makeup is pretty easy and fun to do. So what I'm gonna do is just blur here a little bit in the corners because it gives it a more realistic look of a spider web. Just from like 25 and then up based on what you're looking for. If you want more like glitter, more colors, rhinestones, lashes, because you can really start adding on to get your look exactly how you want it. And so it's like 25 and up.
Depending on how elaborate
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
Nice. So this is our finished product?
Yes.
Excellent. I don't know. We don't have a before and after. I just say this is part of the.
So I did a very basic the teeth, which is just like the little lines, and then you have to draw out the cheekbones because that is a very important aspect of the skull.
So it's pronounced, right?
Yes, it's very pronounced. And the only thing that I didn't finish doing, just because I know is to add black right here because it adds dimension and depth, basically like contouring the face, so it gives it that look of a skull. And don't forget to end the entire look with a finishing spray because that keeps it in place even more for the entire neck. So always try and buy a makeup finishing spray because it basically freezes it
Keeps it
on your face. Yes, for all that dancing and partying that everyone is going to be doing in this heat. So yes.
Excellent. And we've convinced Isane to do one very special look on his face. So Isane, your seat. It's going to be simple.
Basic and straightforward one.
So I voted for the Joker smile from Batman.
Sorry.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yes.
So Tanya promised this is
stitches.
going to be quick and easy. It'll be stitches on the mouth.
Yes, just
And we get to show that men can also do a bit for Halloween as well. Typically scary, right?
Marleni and Tana didn't.
So all I want is just doing
The trick to
stitches.
convincing
You guys
people is
didn't
doing
end.
it live on air.
Okay, just keep your mouth closed. And thank you for being a great sport.
And this is what it's like. So you're just going to do the extended smile, right? With stitches. The guys have all kinds of suggestions as to the costume you should get, Isane. I don't know how much of them I'm actually going to say on air. But I'm glad that we were able to convince him to just get something very simply done. You're being a great sport.
Yeah.
I'd love to answer.
Of course, if you had the white makeup, this
It
would
would show a
look
lot
even
more.
better. Yeah, but thanks for doing this.
And that's a great suggestion. You could do like the pierced lips for the men. You could do the... if you did makeup for theater, you could also do where like the skin looks like it's tearing off.
Yes.
Maybe we work on that for the end of the day, Stanley, for when you go out on assignments.
Perfect.
All right, there you
There we
see.
go.
It's starting to look now.
Only because I'm a good sport.
It's starting to look now like you do have stitches on your mouth, and that they're bleeding just a bit. So Tanya, as you mentioned, you do have bookings already for this weekend. Is it too late for people to be able to call you to get...
No, they can call me on my cell phone
or contact you on Facebook.
On Facebook, yes,
Yeah.
which is, I think, easier.
Yeah.
So.
And then you can be able to put something together. We did the very simple, just stitches on the lip here with Isani, who's a great sport, thank you.
Yes.
Showing that guys can also do things with a flair for Halloween. And then we had the sugar skull, which Tanya was able to do. And this is the quick version as well, I do have to say, that she's done on me here today. So